year, 10% of construction workers are injured on the job site in America. According to the Census of Fatal Occupational Injuries in 2017 alone, 5,147 construction workers died on the job. When an accident leaves a construction worker incapacitated, they and their families lose the financial security they once had. A good attorney is needed to make sure that the injured parties are compensated to the highest level, because most of the time they will never be able to work again. And there is one bite of the apple when it comes to fighting for compensation in court. With me to discuss what to do if you or your loved one is involved in an on-the-job construction accident is Spar Bernstein's very own personal injury attorney, Moshe the Bulldozer Borukh. Moshe, how are you?
Good to be here.
So Moshe, let me ask you a question. We've talked about all the different things to do in a construction accident, why it's important to hire good attorneys like ourselves. It's important to have your phone, take pictures, call the ambulance, get medical treatment. We've talked about who to trust. We've even talked about what to do on Facebook and Instagram. But one thing we never talked about is, how does all of this get paid? How do we get paid as attorneys? How does somebody who is injured in an accident support themselves while they're waiting for these millions and millions of dollars that you get them at the end of the case, which obviously doesn't happen in a week or two. It may take 1, 2, 3 years before a case settles. How do you put food on the table? How do you pay your rent? How do you pay for your kids to go to school, for school books or whatever? Clothes.
So Brad, when you're injured on the job and you retain attorneys at Spar and Bernstein, our legal services are free from inception, right? We only take a fee once the case settles. So from the beginning up until the moment the case is settled, nothing is being charged to the clients.
You don't pay for anything?
Absolutely nothing.
There are no expenses, no hidden expenses?
Zero. Even the disbursements that we incur during the course of litigation, hiring the experts, getting the doctors on board, the narrative reports, we don't charge the clients absolutely anything, Brad. When it comes to their own personal expenses, for medical bills, for out-of-pocket expenses,
because a lot of people are very concerned. Is my lawyer going to pay my rent every month?
Right, exactly. And so the good news is workers' compensation kicks in for that. And workers' compensation is an insurance claim that you make with your employer, and your employer hopefully has workers' compensation insurance, and they will pay you for your medical benefits, your lost wages, and out-of-pocket expenses that are necessary. And what happens towards the end of the workers' compensation claim is they'll either buy you out, which means they'll give you a lump sum payment separate and apart from what attorneys at Spar and Bernstein will.
Which will get you through till the settlement.
Exactly. But sometimes what happens, Brad, is a doctor from the workers' comp insurance company will deny your benefits. And if your benefits are denied, then you're left with nothing in your pocket. And so what do? There's something called funding companies. And Brad, you know what that is. It's when you get funding from a third-party insurance company and they give you money against the settlement of your case.
It's basically you're getting a loan.
It's a loan.
It's a loan, but it's a high interest loan.
It's extremely high interest.
Right. So there's good and bad, because you want to be able to take some money so you can
enjoy
your life and get through your life and pay your bills. But at the same time, you don't want to take too much because the interest runs very high. The good news is that if your case never settles, you never have to pay them back.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So you're not on the hook if you take a funding and ultimately you lose your case. It's not like you're in debt for the rest of your life.
Right.
You only owe them if the case settles, just like you only owe your lawyer if the case settles. One thing that lawyers can't do is pay your bills. That's against the law.
That is illegal, yes.
Right. So Moshe, tell me about a situation where somebody came to you who was seriously injured in a construction accident, and they were very concerned about how they were going to pay their bills, what they were going to do, how they were going to pay the rent, and ultimately what happened in the short term and what happened in the long term.
So we did have a client, Brad, that had emergency surgery the day of his accident. There was no insurance involved whatsoever. He was an undocumented person. And so when he had the surgery, the emergency bill came to his home and he had no idea what to do with it. A week later, he comes to our office. We explain the situation to him. We open his workers' compensation benefits the day he came to us, and workers' compensation began to pay for all of his medical bills. And he didn't have to incur any expenses whatsoever. And ultimately, Brad, after we successfully litigated the case, we proved that he had no responsibility for the share of the accident. We got the defendants 100% liable.
And this is an undocumented person. This is somebody who was not legal to work in America.
He didn't even know he had a case when he first came here because he was undocumented. He didn't have a case. But that's quite contrary. You have the exact same rights as somebody who's a legal citizen here in America. And we ultimately got him almost $4 million.
That's crazy. That's a great, 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 great settlement. That's amazing. And now, so he got a workers' compensation to cover him throughout his case, and then at the end of the case, settled the case for almost $4 million. It's a great job, Moshe. Now, for everybody out there, whether you're working in construction, you know someone working in construction, whether they're citizens, residents, a loved one, a friend, even undocumented person, everyone has the right to representation. God forbid they are injured on the job, because it is strict liability being injured in a construction accident in the state of New York. you should be saving our telephone number because, as I said at the top, 10%, 1 out of every 10 construction workers get injured on the job every year. And most of them never hire an attorney, and they should. Save our telephone number. It's 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. I'm imploring you to do it. And the reason is because you save it because you never think you're going to get into an accident, and then it happens, and you don't know who to call. Oh, I remember seeing this Facebook guy. I remember the Bulldozer lawyer. What's his name? I don't remember anymore. You have it saved in your phone. 1-800-529-5465. Moshe, great job.
Make sure you get aggressive lawyers who know what they're doing, because you only get one bite at the apple.
Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. Thanks for watching. For more Brad Show Live, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.